Hey everyone, welcome to another $2,000 strap search. I've got my $2,000 in singles here, and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, I take certain things for granted, one of which is that I have many different banks that I use, many different branches that I use. I have banks in 2 different states, in 5 different counties. And I always get my notes from one particular bank, and I use all the other ones to distribute my notes. That always leads me to believe that that's how you guys do it as well. And I know that's not the case. Some of you only have one bank. Some of you only have one bank to buy from, and then you have to return to them as well. I don't have to worry about getting the same notes back because, like I said, I don't pick up notes where I drop them off, but some people do. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem then becomes, how do you know if you've looked through a particular strap already? Well, my friend Dennis told me what he did, and to me it's genius, and it would work for anybody. And even if you use this method, you're not necessarily copying him and you're not jeopardizing anything, because technically if we all did it, we'd all know the second that we found one of these straps. So what does he do? Dennis uses the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 method. That's simple. What do I mean by that? Well, when he goes through a strap of singles, what he will do when he is done is he will make sure that the very last digit on the first note is a 1, on the second note is a 2, on the third note is a 3, on the fourth note is a 4, and on the fifth note is a 5. Now, that doesn't sound like such a big deal, but there is a 1 in 10 shot that the first digit on a bill will be a 1. There's a 1 in a 100 chance of the first digit having a 1 and the second digit having a 2. There's a 1 in 1,000 chance of a 1, a 2, and a 3. 1 in 10,000 shot of it being 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 in 100,000 that the first 5 bills will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on them. Okay, so if he gets a strap and he sees the first 5 bills are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he knows he has gone through that strap already. Now, that's just his way of doing it. There's nothing to say that you couldn't use the first digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing you can't just put 5 1s or 5 5s or whatever way you wanted to do it. By using the first 5 notes, like I said, there's a 1 in 100,000 chance that would randomly occur, whatever order you do. Some people may choose to use their zip code as a private code and use that as the last ones. Like I said, a 1 in 100,000 chance to match those 5 digits. And that's your own way of coding the bills that you have already searched, so you know whether or not you have ever searched them before. I thought it was a genius method, and it's something I never really have to think about because, like I said, I get all my notes from one place and I disperse them into other places, so I know I'm not getting the same notes back. All right, let's get these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. 2,000 notes, starting with a Where's George. Definitely going to log that one. Here's an alternator, 50206010. This one is one of the hell notes, 7734 HELL. That's what that actually says there. So it's a note from hell. I always am amused by that. I don't find it very often, but when I do, I make sure to pull it. A bunch of birthday notes. 1991, this is the 21st of February. 2013, the April 21st. 1996, the February 16th. 2003, the 15th of December. 1974, that would be, what is that, August 22nd. And then I've got some trinaries, 3s, 6s, and 8s. That one's really rough. 1s, 5s, and 7s. 0s, 2s, and 5s on this one. 7s, 8s, and 9s. 0s, 7s, and 9s. 0s, 1s, and 3s. 0s, 7s, and 9s. 1s, 2s, and 4s. 4s, 7s, and 8s. Quads. Here's quad zeros, and that's where I like to see them starting off, because that's a low digit number. Not low enough to be worth anything. If this is considered a 4-digit. If there was one more zero, it would be a 3-digit, and then it would definitely retain some value. Quad 4s on this one. Quad 5s, and it's a trinary, 0s, 3s, and 5s. Quad 6s. Look at how high up that 0 is. No, doesn't add any value when you got a stuck digit like that. It's got to be up high enough so that part of the digit is missing. So even though that's up high, no big deal. Quad 7s, quad 8s with a 5th, and some stars. 2017 A star, and I checked, rechecked, and triple checked. None of these stars are filled in. Another 2017 A, another 2017 A, another one from 2017 A. This one's just regular 2017. Found a couple of those as well. More 2017s. So quite a few this time. More 2017s. And these, of course, will go in my box, and I will check them all at once for rares. 2013 stars. Looking to see if I've got any 2013 B star notes. And I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't think so. On some of the older notes, here's a 2003 that's really crisp. 1999, if I remember right, I found a bunch of 99s. Yep, 99 here, 99 here, here, another 99. That one's in rough shape. That's going back. 1999, another 99. So a lot of those. Here's a 1995, checking to see if it's a web note. It is not. 1988A, also not a web note. Another 88A, not a web note. Another 88A, another 88A. And the oldest note I found this week is from 1969. So that is what I found in this week's search. So what did I pull out? Well, a few weeks ago, I pulled out a $1 CSA from 1862. And I have the $2 version of that same note. You can see here, this is June 2nd, 1862, $2. And right across the top there, it does say 6 months after the ratification of a treaty of peace between the Confederate States and the United States. Third series, the Confederate States of America will pay $2 to the bearer in Richmond, Virginia. And you can see the date there. You can see fundable in 8% stock or bonds of the Confederate States. And let's see, receivable in payment of all dues except exports and duties. And you can see that these are hand signed and hand numbered. And once again, on this one, it looks like red ink, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was red ink. It might have just faded over time. The signatures, as you can see, do have that orangish rust look as the ink tends to spread over the years. Taking a look at the back of the note, there's nothing on the back. It does show a little bit of wear. This note here, much like the $1 note, was heavily circulated. The 1s and the 2s were spent. They were heavily circulated. Trying to find any of these in good condition is extremely difficult. And because of that, once they do get in really good condition, they start to get exponentially valuable. Let's take a look at what the book has to say, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The big book. And if we look here, there is the $2 note. Now, this particular note, you can see here, has, I didn't mention this. Let me, well, I'll get to that in a second. This note has a really cool name, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. This particular note, you can see in VG8 starts off at 45. In 12, you're talking 70. By the time you get to 20, it's up to $100. EF40, you're talking 275, and at choice uncirculated, you're at $450. Now, that is the note that I have. There is also, well, there's the one from the previous week. You can see how the one has the green overprint, and you can see how it starts at 75 and goes up to over 3,000. Check out the 2. I don't know if I can get all that in here because of the angle I've got the camera, but the $2 version with the green overprint starts at 75 once again, but in 12 immediately jumps up to 350. By the time you get to 20, it's $1,000. 40 and 63 are just rare and very rare, is all it even says on those particular ones. So if you're looking to get one, this is the one that's going to be available to most people. It's a very cool note. It says right there, "Allegory of the South slaying the Union" is what it says there. And I want to show that picture a little closer. Allegory of the South slaying the Union. That's what they're talking about, that picture there. Now, because of that, this actually has a really interesting... This is known as the Slayer note. Some would say it's the violent scene note, but they will call this the Slayer note. And I was always fascinated by that, just to see a note called, Slayer. But yeah, that's it right there. The 1862 $2 Slayer note from the Confederate States of America. That's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.